The city of Venice breathes in rhythms both seen and unseen. The waters of the Grand Canal shimmer beneath an ever-turning sun, while a silent guardian stands tall above the Piazza San Marco. This is the clock tower, Torre dell'Orologio, a masterpiece of time itself, whispering the legacy of 1,000 moments. Perched at the entrance of the Merceria, its towering presence is more than mere architecture. It is a declaration. A sentinel of the Renaissance, designed to be seen from the waters of the lagoon, its intricate clock face watches over the city's past, present, and future. Time itself moves with Venetian elegance, wrapped in gold and blue enamel. Step beneath the grand archway, where the pulse of Venice beats strongest. This is no ordinary passage. It is a bridge between two realms. On one side, the sacred grandeur of St. Mark's Basilica. On the other, the mercantile heartbeat of the Rialto. Through this very corridor, traders, dreamers, and wanderers have passed for centuries, guided by the rhythmic chime of the great bronze figures above. Two great bronze figures, towering above all, prepare for their eternal duty. One is young, the other old, their heavy mallets poised above a great bell. Their bodies, worn by time and blackened by the ages, strike in perfect unison, heralding the passing hours with a solemn, resonant toll. They are the Moors, and they do not forget. Below them, the winged lion of St. Mark spreads its golden wings against a sky of deep blue, glistening with stars. Once, a statue of the Doge knelt in reverence, but history is ruthless. Napoleon's conquest erased him, leaving only the lion and its open book, a silent testament to Venice's enduring pride. Gaze upon the celestial clock face, where the sun and moon move in harmony with the stars. Golden zodiac signs shimmer as they shift ever so slowly, marking the cosmic dance above. This is not just a clock, it is an astrological masterpiece, a glimpse into the universe through the lens of Venetian craftsmanship. Twice a year, something extraordinary happens. The great doors above the clock part, and out step the Magi, led by an angel with a golden trumpet. One by one, they bow before the Virgin and Child, then vanish into the shadows once more. For centuries, this parade of faith and wonder has captivated all who watch. Deep within the tower's shadowed chambers, there was once a man who lived and breathed in service of time itself. He was the keeper, a guardian of gears and cogs, ensuring that the great mechanism never faltered. His footsteps echoed through the stone halls as he ascended, day after day, winding the heartbeat of Venice. The clock has never truly stopped, except once. In 1531, it faltered, and the Council of Ten, fearing a sign of ill fate, appointed a permanent guardian to restore its unbroken rhythm. Time, after all, must not be allowed to fall silent in Venice. It is said that beneath the clock's intricate face, a hidden mechanism holds a secret lost to history. Some whisper that a forgotten gear, crafted by an unknown hand, ensures that the Magi walk in eternal procession. Others claim that only those who truly listen can hear the whisper of ancient craftsmen in the ticking of the clock. When Napoleon's forces marched into Venice, they sought to erase its past, but the clock remained. Though the Doge's statue was torn away, the Moors continued to strike the hours, defying time's greatest enemy, oblivion. Some Venetian elders still believe in an old legend, that whoever ignores the first chime of the great bell will find themselves trapped in a moment that never moves forward. To this day, no one dares to ignore its toll. As the Renaissance faded into history, the clock's mechanisms continued their eternal cycle. But by the 18th century, time itself began to wear on the tower. A grand restoration was needed, and Giorgio Massari, the master architect, took on the task of preserving what the centuries sought to erode. The great clock had begun to fail. Bartolomeo Farracina, a man of unparalleled skill, was summoned. His hands reshaped time itself, altering the movement, perfecting the rhythm, and ensuring that the Moors would strike the bell for centuries to come. The clock does more than mark the hours. It whispers the secrets of the heavens. As the golden sun pointer moves, so does the moon, shifting through its phases, its delicate face illuminating the passage of days long before modern calendars ruled our lives. It is said that long ago, a group of masked figures ascended the tower at midnight. No one saw them enter, but the next morning, the doors to the tower were found locked from within. No trace of them was ever found, save for a single golden mask lying beneath the moors. Beyond the grand facade, a narrow spiraling staircase winds its way upward through the heart of the tower. The stone steps are worn smooth by centuries of careful footsteps, clock keepers, astronomers, and perhaps even unseen visitors who have passed through these corridors, leaving nothing but whispers in their wake. At precisely midnight, the internal gears shift ever so slightly, making a sound that can only be heard by those standing directly beneath the tower. Some say it is merely the natural movement of the mechanism, but others insist it is something more, a voice from the past, marking the passage of unseen time. Once, long ago, a merchant made a vow before this clock, that he would return with untold riches before the Moors struck 12 again. He sailed away, never to be seen again, and yet on certain nights, some claim to hear his hurried footsteps passing beneath the archway. Venice has always moved to its own rhythm, a city where time flows like the tides. The clock tower does not just measure minutes and hours, it measures history itself. Every stroke of the bell echoes through the canals, as if the very soul of the city beats in time with it. There was one night when the Moors did not strike. The silence that followed was deafening. It is said that those who were present felt as if something had shifted, something unseen but deeply felt, as if Venice itself had momentarily held its breath. One of the earliest keepers of the clock was rumored to have gone mad, claiming that the mechanism whispered secrets only he could hear. When he disappeared, no one searched for him. Some say he is still here, his spirit bound to the winding gears of the clock. For centuries, the Magi have marched on, unceasing, bowing before the Virgin and Child. Some believe this sacred act ensures that time in Venice will always move forward, preventing the city from falling into the depths of forgotten history. The winged lion of St. Mark watches over the square with an expression of eternal wisdom. Though its lips do not move, some say its roar can be heard in the rustling of the wind through the narrow Venetian streets. It is a protector, a silent guardian of a city built on water, dreams, and legends. One morning, a Venetian nobleman swore he saw a shadow moving across the clock face just as the first light touched the tower. There was no one inside at that hour, and yet, the shadow stretched across the zodiac signs as if time itself had momentarily taken form. Hidden among the golden details of the clock face, some believe there is a message left by the original builders, an inscription so faint that only the morning sun can reveal it. What it says remains a mystery, for the light moves too quickly for any eye to decipher. On nights when the mist is thick and the lagoon is quiet, the bell's chime carries farther than usual, reaching sailors far beyond the city's borders. Some claim it is a beacon, a call to those who have lost their way, guiding them home. Empires have risen and fallen, but the clock tower has stood firm. From the Doges to Napoleon, from the Venetian Republic to modern Italy, it has seen rulers come and go, yet it remains, a sentinel, a keeper of history, untouched by time's fleeting hand. A small, nearly invisible door at the base of the tower is said to open only once a year, on the night of Ascension Day. Where it leads, no one knows, for those who enter are never seen again before sunrise. The most recent restoration of the clock was not without controversy. Some say the new mechanism stripped away part of the magic that once lived within the gears. Others believe the changes were necessary to ensure the tower's survival. Either way, time moves forward, as it always has. Some visitors claim to have heard an extra sound beneath the chimes, a low, rhythmic ticking that does not match the mechanism of the clock. What it is, no one knows, but it continues, steady and unyielding. The moon, mirrored in the clock's design, has always had a special connection to Venice. The tides rise and fall, and the city breathes in sync with the celestial bodies above. Perhaps this is why Venice seems to float between reality and dream, caught in the pull of something greater. Long ago, a masked ball was held in the square, right beneath the tower. At midnight, the bell struck 12, and the revelers vanished. To this day, some claim to see figures in elaborate Venetian masks dancing beneath the clock on certain nights. There is a local legend that 1 hour of the day is not marked by the Moors, an hour lost to time itself. No one knows which hour it is, but some say that in this missing moment, the past and future touch. Writers, poets and dreamers have long whispered that those who stand beneath the clock tower at the right moment can glimpse a time not their own. Some claim to have seen figures from centuries past walking the Merceria before vanishing into thin air. It is said that if the clock ever falls silent, Venice itself will disappear beneath the waves. But as long as the Moors continue to strike, the city will endure, floating between past and present, between history and myth. At the stroke of midnight, when the stars are bright and the canals are still, the clock tower reveals its final secret. A perfect shadow, cast by the Moors, forming a symbol that only the sky above can truly understand. As you step away from the piazza, the tower remains behind, its chimes fading into the night. But its presence lingers, woven into the very fabric of Venice. Venice moves forward, as does the clock, marking each moment with quiet reverence. The city may change, but time remains eternal within the walls of the clock tower. For as long as Venice stands, the clock tower will watch. Time will turn, and the Moors will strike once more. The story is not over, only waiting for the next hour to begin.